All right, so aloha everyone. Thank you for coming today, this afternoon, to join us. My name is Debbie. If you don't already know me, I am a travel advisor and group leader with Roseborough Travel. And today we are going to Hawaii. So taking us there is Chris Cardena. I got that right?
You got it.
Of Norwegian Cruise Line. Some of you have spoken with him a little bit as you've joined in. He's going to talk about cruising in Hawaii, which we will be doing in October of next year. We're going to be taking a cruise with Norwegian. I'm really excited about it. And so today he's joining us to give us a little more insight into the experience that we'll have on that trip. So Chris, I'm not going to wait any longer. Everybody's been waiting. So go ahead and take us to Hawaii.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Good afternoon. My name is Chris Cardena, and I am a Regional Business Development Director from Norwegian Cruise Line, and I do work closely with Roseborough Travel as one of our preferred travel partners that sells Norwegian. And so it's my job to, help them along the way in training and marketing and all that good stuff. So thank you to Amanda, Debbie, Brittany, and the whole team for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about Hawaii, of course, because they have a great group cruise planned for through the agency for next year. So I'm here today to kind of teleport you or transport you to Hawaii so we can start thinking about vacation, because that, obviously over the past several months, we've all been sort of stuck at home. And so we need to start thinking about the places that we want to go. And Hawaii is such a great destination, and no one does it like Norwegian Cruise Line. And so before I continue, I just want to make sure, can everyone see my screen? Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
And if you guys have questions along the way, there is a chat box. Feel free to type some questions in there, or you can wait till the end. I'll be more than happy to answer questions once we conclude. So, all right, without further ado, say aloha to your best vacation ever. So cruising Hawaii, did you know that Norwegian Cruise Line is the only, the Pride of America, let me start with that. The Pride of America, which is our ship that operates in Hawaii, is the only US flagged vessel in the entire cruise industry. So that actually gives us an advantage over other cruise lines. No other cruise line, and no other Norwegian ship has this US flag. And what this allows us to do is to be able to operate round trip sailings right out of Honolulu conveniently. No other cruise line can duplicate that. Any other cruise that you look at from other cruise lines to Hawaii will always be, either from California or from Canada, with lots of days at sea across the Pacific. And then because of complex maritime laws, they actually have to go to a foreign port before returning back to a US port. So with Norwegian, you avoid all of that hassle. Our ship is in Hawaii. It's operating 7 days year round, and Hawaii is just a great destination overall. I mean, it's got great weather, steady temperatures, average of 74 degrees, easy to get to Honolulu. There's no passports required, just a driver's license will suffice for all US citizens. And the inter-island transportation is provided by your cruise ship. So essentially your cruise ship is like a floating hotel. So as opposed to seeing Hawaii on land where you'd have to pack, unpack, get on a little flight, island hop, the cruise ship is going to do all that for you. So you'll unpack once. We have beverage and dining package options. So this is probably going to be one of the closest, I can't call it an all-inclusive type vacation, but it's probably the closest thing that you would get to an all-inclusive in Hawaii. Because as we know, Hawaii can be a little bit on the pricey side when it comes to things like hotels, food, beverage, etc. Easy disembarkation, and best of all, the ship was recently refurbished. Because it's a U.S. flag ship, by law, the ship has to go into dry dock for upgrades and updates every, I think it's 3 years, which is a much smaller window compared to what most cruise ships go through. So we do keep that ship in tip-top shape. And some of the advantages, like I mentioned, of being a U.S. flag ship. So since this is starting and ending in Hawaii, we spend more time in port than any other cruise line. So in nearly 100 hours in port, you're going to visit the 4 main islands in 7 days. Full days on Kona and Hilo, and then we actually have an overnight in Maui and Kauai. So it's a great itinerary. This is actually a sample breakdown of that itinerary. So all of the Hawaii cruises on Pride do start and end on a Saturday. So you actually depart at 7 p.m. And what's good about that is that that's 7 p.m. local Hawaiian time. So while I would recommend you maybe come in a day or two early because there's so much to do and see, if for those that were going to fly in the same day as the cruise leaves, that does give you options because the later embarkation time plus Hawaii is, I don't know, was it 5 or 6 hours behind depending on daylight savings. So you could technically leave, you know, from the mainland, even on the East Coast, let's say out of Florida, and get to Honolulu and make the shift the same day. But like I said, it's always good if you come in a day before. It is a long flight, and there's stuff that you can do in Honolulu either before or even staying after the cruise. So Saturday, we're in Honolulu. Sunday, we're in Kaluilui, Maui, and we're there overnight. So we stay until Monday at 6 p.m. Tuesday, we're on the Big Island in Hilo, so you get a full day there from 8 to 6. Followed by Kona on Wednesday, 7 to 5:30. So they're on the same island, just on opposite sides. Thursday, Nauwili, Kauai, we're there from Thursday at 8 a.m. overnight until Friday at 2 p.m. And then, of course, Friday afternoon is one of the highlights of the trip is a sail around the Nepali coast. And we'll see some more pictures of that as we move through. And then, of course, you're back in Honolulu on Saturday. So we get to see the 4 major islands. But does anyone actually know how many islands there are in Hawaii? Kind of a trivia question. Anybody? 132. Believe it or not, 130. But that includes reefs and shoals and, you know, in addition to the big islands. But I thought that was a pretty cool fun fact. So, but we visit the 4 most popular ports in Hawaii. And so just a little overview on each port. Of course, the cruise starts and ends in Honolulu and Oahu, which is our port of embarkation and debarkation. Honolulu is Hawaii's capital and biggest city. So most flights, of course, are going to arrive and depart out of Honolulu. And the Pride of America docks near the Aloha Tower, which has been welcoming cruise guests since 1926. So much to do in Oahu, you know, that's why I said it may be beneficial to come in a day or two early so you can shake off the jet lag and then have a chance to see some of the sites such as the Pearl Harbor Memorial, the USS Arizona, Diamond Head Crater, as well as the North Shore, especially if you're into surfing. Of course, days 2 and 3, we're going to take off into Maui, which Maui is Hawaii's 2nd most popular island to visit, and part of its very dramatic landscapes, its first-rate attractions, and its many recreational activities. So there's some great shore excursion options, such as whale watching, and in fact, the whales are there seasonally. The whales actually come down from Alaska in the winter months, and I guess they do like a migration from Alaska down to Hawaii. So that's some great opportunities there. Also, this is one of the highlights, which is Molokini Crater. It's one of the top spots for snorkeling. So there's some great opportunities there. This was actually part of a volcano that formed about 200,000 years ago. So this is just a couple of miles south of Maui's coast, and I think it actually might be one of the wonders of the world. And then, of course, the road to Hana. So Hana, of course, is very well known. It's not so much the attraction as it is to get there. Of course, the road to Hana, which is a winding road with tropical ripe vined, lush landscape, beautiful beaches, and that's definitely another tour worth exploring while in Maui. So again, days 2 and 3, we're overnight in Maui. On day 4, we actually sail over to the Big Island, so where we start in Hilo. Now, the Big Island, it's all about the volcanoes. So between Hilo and Kona, they are home to Hawaii's Volcano National Park, which contains 3 volcanoes, including Kilauea, which is very well known. So Kilauea is technically still an active volcano. And depending, I don't know if it's seasonal or it's reoccurring, but the way that our ship, I think in the evening when you leave on day 4 from Hilo to go to Kona, it does a sail by, because you're basically sailing in the evening time because you're off the ship during the day. But so in the evening, if we're lucky, we actually get to see the flow of the volcano flow into the ocean, where it's actually forming some of the Earth's most recent land, which is really cool. So again, it's all about the volcanoes on Hilo, as well as Kona. Now Kona is got great options for our golfers. So it's got from 7 different top class golf courses to choose from. In addition, Kona is known for their coffee. Do I have any coffee drinkers here? Or how about beer drinkers? As you know, there's Kona Brewing Company. which you can buy their beer at Publix for us here in Florida. I enjoy Kona beer. So whenever I see and think of Kona,
I've got it if you want to see it.
yeah, right. But yeah, Kona is it's all about golf courses, coffee beans, turtle watching as well. Lots of great opportunities. So again, you're spending 2 days on that big island. It's just that it's split between Hilo and Kona, and each port that you go to really has its own unique personality and unique things to do and see. Now, one of the highlights, of course, is of course, now, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Nauwili, which is Kauai, which is the furthest island to the northwest. So this is just like, jaw-dropping land.
I get the sound on.
Yeah,
I lost 3 islands.
it's the closest of any island in the Hawaiian chain to a tropical paradise. And it has some dramatic attractions, including Waimea Canyon, which is the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, the Fern Grotto, which is straight out of a tropical fantasy. And did you know that certain classic movies have been filmed here, including South Pacific, Jurassic Park, King Kong, if you've ever seen the TV show Lost. I think, in fact, the most recent Jumanji movie with The Rock and Kevin Hart was filmed here as well. So lots of television and film productions have been filmed here. But again, this is one of the highlights. Not only are you going to be here for the overnight in Kauai, but it's going to do the sail around of the Napali coast on that Friday afternoon before returning back to Honolulu. So some great opportunities there for some great picture taking. And when I was talking about coming into Hawaii on that Saturday, if you had the time and you wanted to be a little adventurous, in addition to that 7-day cruise, we do offer a 4-day pre-cruise land tour, it's a 4-day. You actually would come in on a Wednesday, and we have a package that includes hotel as well as day tours. So this is going to actually give you some more time to spend in Oahu. So you'll visit places such as the Polynesian Cultural Center. You'll visit the Punch Bowl Crater, the National Cemetery, of course, Pearl Harbor. So it's an 11-day Oahu explore. You actually stay at the Hilton Hawaiian Village right there near Waikiki, and you got 3 nights there. And then, of course, it includes a transfer to the port on embarkation day, which is on so again, if you're interested in joining that group that Roseborough was expecting next year, you do have the option to come a little bit earlier and do a pre-cruise land add-on. And I'm sure Debbie and the team would be happy to price out those options for you. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the itinerary, the ports
where was
that we go to.
Talk to you later.
I'm sorry, I might have to mute everybody. I'm hearing some feedback here. Let me see. If you're... All right, I'm going to carry on. All right, so we talked a little bit about the destination itself, some of the advantages of sailing with Norwegian Cruise Line. Now, I'm just curious, with a show of hands, has anybody here ever sailed on Norwegian before? Just out of curiosity. Rita? All right, cool. So Norwegian, we're known for what we call freestyle cruising. That's sort of our calling card. So we offer a freestyle experience, which means our guests don't have any set schedules while they're on board. So we don't have an assigned dinner time or an assigned show time. You can kind of come and go as you'd like. Also, it's a resort casual dress code, so you're not having to get dressed up if you don't want to, which I think works really well with an itinerary like Hawaii, because you're spending a lot of time off the ship in port, sightseeing, doing excursions. So the last thing you want to worry about is having to rush back to the ship because you have a 5 o'clock dinner. So at freestyle, that gives you that freedom and flexibility. And, like I said, the ship is kind of like your floating resort. It's your floating hotel going from island to island. You're spending a lot of time on land during the day. But then at night, you've got a great ship with lots of great activities, food, beverage, dining, entertainment to enjoy in the evening hours. So let me get back in here. So let me introduce you to the Pride of America. So she is 80,000 gross tons. Guest capacity is just shy of 2,200 passengers with a crew of about 927. And she was built in 2005. Now that ship is 15 years old. Now it's not the newest ship in our fleet, but in ship years, it's actually still very young. And in fact, it's been refurbished now, I think it's 3 times, because once the ship, let me see, 2005, so it was refurbished in 2016 and then again last year in 2019. So it's been updated twice since 2005, which is good. So like I said, it's a US flag ship. So it does have to go into dry dock every 3 to 4 years, I think, at the most. So it's not the largest ship in our fleet, but it's perfect for this type of itinerary. So the ship itself has a wide variety of dining options, and of course, in Norwegian, we offer a great experience for our guests in terms of the culinary experience. So you've got a wide variety of both complimentary included dining options as well as specialty dining options, because we do have specialty restaurants. For example, a French restaurant, we've got an upscale steakhouse, teppanyaki, which is our Japanese hibachi. We have an Asian restaurant. So those do have an added cost. However, I know as part of the Roseborough travel group, one of the components to the group amenities is a dining package. So that would give you a choice of including some of those into your experience. The ship has 2 swimming pools, 4 hot tubs, of course, a variety of accommodations. And that's one of the great things about Norwegian is we do have a great variety of accommodations, whether you are traveling solo as a single. We have studio cabins that are priced and designed specifically for solo travelers. If you're a family of 3, 4, or 5, we have certain accommodations that can accommodate that, or even connecting cabins. And then, of course, we have a nice variety of our suites, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get further. And did you know Norwegian has been voted Best Cruise to Hawaii for 12 consecutive years by Porthole magazine? And here's a look on the interior of the ship on some of our onboard experiences, including the Mardi Gras Lounge. We have the Napa Bar, which was the Napa Wine Bar, which was a product of one of the recent refurbishments. Pink's Champagne Bar, and then Ocean Drive Bar, which looks like it's outdoors, out at the back of the ship. And then we have our cabanas. For those of you like to stay in shape while you're on vacation, take up in our Santa Fe Fitness Center. Of course, the spa is always a great place to unwind and relax and enjoy some of the treatments that are offered on board. And then here you can get a shot at the upper pool deck. And then, of course, Norwegian, we, I would say our target audience is multi-generational families, so guests of all ages and backgrounds. And so we do have some great experiences for the younger guests with our youth program, which we offer for passengers aged 3 to 17, and they're broken up into different age groups between Splash Academy and then, of course, the kids crew, and then Entourage is what we call for the teenagers. So we have a card and game room, a video arcade, and of course facilities for our younger guests. And entertainment. So what's cool about Hawaii is, apart from the variety shows that we have, we offer production shows, we have guest comedians, magic shows, singing performances, but we also do offer lectures on Polynesian culture and the history of Hawaii on board throughout the day or in the evenings as well. So you can kind of soak up some of that local Hawaiian culture right from the ship. So I know that we've been doing that for many years and it's been very successful. So just another way to kind of connect with the Hawaii culture. All right, now we're going to take a look at some of the cabin options on the Pride of America. So I'm going to kind of start from the top and work our way down because I want you to see some of these beautiful penthouses and suites, which are a great way to sail. So of course we have a variety of suite options, including our penthouses, which were another product of that refurbishment that I had mentioned back in 2016. So we actually put all new suites. There's a whole new area of suites and penthouses that were put in there. So, and these range from a 2-bedroom deluxe family suite, which can actually accommodate up to 6 people. And it is roughly 600 to 650 square feet. We have our deluxe owner suite with large balcony, which I would say is the largest suite on the Pride of America. However, it's occupancy for 4. And that's running about 1,300 square feet. So that's about the size of a small, of a condo, a nice size condo. And then an owner suite with a large balcony, which got cut off there, but that's also occupancy for 4. So of course the suites do have some extra perks, which include priority embarkation, access to a concierge. They get some treats in their cabin, and they also get priority, embarkation, disembarkation, priority access to making reservations for different shows and restaurants. So there's definitely some perks by staying in the penthouses and suites. And then next up, of course, would be our balcony, which the ship has plenty of them. And it's a great way, of course, because it's such a picturesque itinerary. What better than to have a nice private view from your own veranda, from your own cabin, by having a balcony stateroom. So always a popular option. And then, of course, we have our ocean view, which are similar in configuration, but instead of the walkout veranda, you have a large picture window, or in some cases, a porthole. And then, of course, we have our interior cabins, which are our entry-level budget cabins, which are still comfortable and a great way to be able to experience this vacation. So again, we have options for all configurations, for all budgets. And like I mentioned, if you are a traveler that sails solo, we do have a new category of stateroom, which is on about 7 of our ships, including now Pride of America as a result of that dry dock I mentioned. We have the studio cabins, which are priced and designed specifically for solo travelers. So they are an interior cabin, so there's not going to be a window or a view, but it's a great way to be able to travel solo without having to pay a single supplement, where you end up having to pay for 2 people, even if you're just traveling as one. So studios are available. And so that was just kind of a quick summary of the stateroom options for the Pride of America. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room, right? Because obviously, cruises are suspended as of right now. So no cruises are operating out of the United States, except for Europe, which is some good news coming out of Italy and Germany. Some of the cruise lines overseas have restarted in Europe, and we're seeing some positive developments there. But right now here in the U.S., we are under a no sail order by the CDC, which is actually set to expire at the end of this month, September 30th. So currently, Norwegian cruises are suspended through October 31st. So our plan to resume would be on November 1st forward. But again, it kind of depends on what happens with the CDC. But now, obviously we're in a new world and a new environment. And so how are we going to address that? How, as we plan to resume cruises? And so as part of our peace of mind, sail safe, and flexible booking policy, we are addressing this in 6 key areas of health and safety. So I just wanted to kind of mention those briefly. We are planning enhanced screening protocols upon embarkation, as well as increased sanitation, which these are things that we were doing even before all of that started, but it's just kind of underlying that and highlighting that. We are installing all new air filtration. So we're going to be installing hospital grade filters in all of the cabins and public spaces which can actually absorb 99.97% of particles, including bacteria and viruses, to help keep the air clean, which is definitely a major point in helping to contain any kind of spread of viruses. And of course, responsible social distancing. And so what that's going to mean is that when cruises do resume, much like some of the procedures that are being done on land, you might see something similar on cruise ships as well, at least in the beginning stages. And so that may include, mask wearing, social distancing, reduced capacity. Our ships are not going to sail full, at least not initially. So you might be looking at somewhere, and this is not official, I don't know if this is what it's going to be, but maybe 40 to 50% full. And of course, enhanced medical resources. So investing a lot in enhanced testing, as well as creating isolation cabins. We actually are hiring a public safety officer for every ship to oversee everything. And of course, we can't just, because the cruise ships are moving from port to port, so we can't just focus on safety just on the ship, but also extending that to shore as well. So working with our local port partners all around the world and making sure that, the proper protocols and procedures are carrying on off the ship. Now, like I said, with Hawaii, it is a domestic destination. As exotic as it seems, it is still part of the United States. So again, you don't need a passport to travel, which is good. And also some more encouraging news. I just read an article earlier, I think it was last week, that Hawaii is going to be opening back up to visitors starting October 15th this year. So that's definitely another positive sign, moving in the right direction and getting tourism back on track. But again, I just wanted you to know that Norwegian is at the forefront of making sure that we are able to resume sailings and offer them to our guests, keeping guests and crew safety top of mind. And even so, we actually partnered up with Royal Caribbean and formed what's called the Healthy Sail Panel, which is headed by our former Governor Michael Leavitt and Dr. Scott Gottlieb, who used to head the FDA. So it's a panel of experts across many disciplines, including medicine, biotechnology, security, and coming up with comprehensive protocols, which were actually just submitted to the CDC just this week. So we're probably going to be hearing some comments about this and feedback in the coming weeks, hoping for some positive news as the industry looks to a path to resuming cruises. So it's kind of cool that Norwegian, as well as Royal, as I would say, probably one of our fiercest competitors in the industry. And we do compete for the cruise guests, but we'll never compete on safety. So I think it definitely speaks volumes when you have these two companies coming together and making sure that we're able to continue cruises and do it in a safe way. Well, I want to say mahalo for joining. Of course, that will conclude my portion of the presentation. So I hope you found that insightful and some good information. And I am happy. I don't know if anyone might have had some questions in the chat box. Let me see. Does anybody have any questions?
I was just over here enjoying your presentation, Chris. I was just sitting here listening to my music and got my Hawaiian gear on.
Yay. Oh, I should have brought I have a few leis, but they're in a box somewhere in my garage.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody has a few. I'm sure they do. No,
Definitely.
thank you so much for the presentation and all the information. I know there's probably some questions out there, and thank you too for touching base on the moving forward with cruising, because it is the elephant in the room and everybody is wondering how all that will work moving forward and the expectations that people will have. So thanks for talking about that a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wanted to, an opportunity, maybe offer a giveaway to someone that joined the call.
That would be awesome. Would you like to, did you want to pick a number?
I do. Give me a range to pick from between 1 and...
Go through between 1 and 10.
All right. So let's pick 4.
Number 4. Would be Diane Rosario. She would be the winner of the giveaway.
Excellent. Awesome, Diane. What you can do is send an email to Debbie or your consultant at Roseborough with your address, and I'm going to send you some Norwegian goodies. Awesome.
Thank you, Chris. And just to go back, I know you didn't have the exact dates on our trip, but we are doing a 7-night cruise from a round trip Honolulu, of course, the Pride of America, October the 8th through the 15th of 2022. So what's really great about that is you were talking a little bit about those, flexible bookings. So it's really risk-free to put your money down and prepare, or plan, I should say, for your trip for 2022, because it's completely refundable on your deposit. So it's a great way to book now, make your payments, or just wait it out and see what happens. But I think by 2022 we'll all be ready to definitely, I'm ready now, but by 2022 we will surely be ready to get out there and start doing some more exciting things. And Hawaii is definitely one for me, so I'm excited to get out there in October.
Absolutely. And as a special bonus, the group that Debbie had mentioned, so if anyone is interested in more information, I know they have a website set up, but I'll tell you this, I personally had helped them put this group package together, and the prices that we got are unbelievable because we were able to combine some discounts that were going on at the time that we did it. So I don't think we'll find that price anywhere else. So we've got a great, great offer with some extra amenities. I know I mentioned briefly about the beverage and the dining package. Those are some options I know that are part of that group package. But if anyone is interested, and if you do end up booking, I'm going to say over the next couple of weeks, let's say if someone does sign up and put their deposit down within the next 2 weeks, I will personally be adding a $50 onboard credit, bottle of wine, and chocolate covered strawberries to your cabin as a thank you for joining today's course, and then for signing up for the group trip.
Awesome, awesome. Yes, thank you so much for that. So no better time than now. The great price, the extra amenities. I mean, it is really, truly, when you told me the pricing, I couldn't believe it. And we do only have that available for about the next, well, you said 2 weeks, but I think I'd have to check with Tiffany to be exactly sure, but I think we have about 2 weeks or so. We really have that great price going. So time is of the urgency. And again, if you're even knowing that it's risk-free, it's, you know, put the money down and hold it at that great price, because it's not going to come back. Well, were there any other questions at all, or did anybody have questions? Or if not, you can always email me or call me at the office. I'm happy to answer questions as they come along. I know sometimes when you're on the webinar, you can't think exactly of anything at the moment, but they come along later on.
Always.
Yes, definitely. So if there isn't anything else, I know it was a short, we tried to keep it short so we wouldn't, you know, keep you all afternoon. But if there isn't anything else, Chris, do you have anything else to add? I know it was a great presentation. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. No, I think that's all. I appreciate you guys and girls for joining, and I hope it was good information. Thank you, of course, for your continued support. And we look forward to welcoming you on a Norwegian cruise in the very near future.
Thank you. Mahalo, Chris, and thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Mahalo.
And as they say in Hawaii, they don't say see you later, they say ahui ho.
Love it. All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.